Describe how that impacted you when you heard that morning, and how that carried you through the day with even leading up to the interview at Shero.
Well, I mean, the minute I woke up, I heard the news, right? Because I stopped watching the news a long time ago, so I read it. It popped up on my phone, and I just sighed. I was just like, "This sucks," and then I had to get in my car and come in to work, and I had the girls in the back seat, and I had to explain to them what was going on, because one of the things that my husband and I always do is to talk about how we need to be really honest with our children, and we always talk about the issues of the world, and so this impacted them, and for me to be able to try to explain it, it wasn't an abortion thing for me. It was literally, my daughters don't have the same rights that I have today or I had last night. I don't have the same rights, but my daughters don't have the same rights in this world. And I've always been a feminist. I've always been the one to stand up and say things. And to me, women's rights are human rights. And to know that um, they don't have the same rights was really difficult, and all the questions that came at me. And then prepping to meet with Valerie and Laura Jarrett on that same day, um, my text started going through where it was like, Laura's on the news. She can't answer these questions, but Valerie could. But I also knew I was at a Catholic institution and what questions I could ask and not ask. So it was, how do we have a conversation with our daughters, letting them know that they don't have the same rights that we had before? So I had to reframe the question. I had to bring the question to the table, and I had to remain calm, because if I got upset, my girls would have a greater getting more upset. And I had students in front of me. So it was just like I had to literally sit with it. And it wasn't until I got on the plane to go to Hawaii the next day that I literally just sobbed uncontrollably when I landed. Just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And everybody's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "This is just heartbreaking, for 50 years." And all I kept thinking about, every single woman whose shoulders we stand on, who fought and died for our right to be able to have choices, to be able to vote. Like, I don't take that for granted ever. It's never been who I am. Um, and so now looking at it and saying, all of these girls, including the ones at Shero's, how do I help them? Like, I started this organization just so I could help elevate and lift up girls and let them know that they have choices in this world, that they have options, because that's the greatest gift to be able to have as a woman, is to have options and choices, even if it's A versus B, right? Just not even a plethora, just A versus B, to have options in this world and know that you can make good choices for yourself. And that's what Shero's Rise is all about, is being able to make good choices. And now they can't make their own choices about their bodies, but I have to choose and help them realize you can still make choices for you internally, but you can't make it within yourself and your body. I still don't know how to have that conversation with these girls. And I have a hard time just having this conversation even with my own daughters, because the autonomy is gone.
Right.
Like, that's all that we're about here at Shero's Rise, is helping you to go inside and realize you have options and you can choose yourself, and that you are enough. And they don't have those options anymore. And I'm grappling with that. Like, how do I address it with these girls? Even in our interview with Valerie Jarrett, I told her, I said, I'm going to bring these girls up to Washington, D.C. She said, I think that's a good idea, because we really want them to feel like they matter. And I want them to still follow their light and find their voice. And I'm going to do everything in my power to fight for the fact that they can have choices and options again. Like, that's what I'm here to do. It's my purpose and my mission.
Let me ask you this. I'm gonna make sure I'm not messing up.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Perfect transition. How did Sheroes even come to you?
Well, Shiro's Shiro's was, the starting point was literally on this campus at Mount St. Mary's University. because when I came here, I was 18 years old, and the culture that I come from, girls don't have a voice or an opinion. We are to sit down, be quiet, and stay quiet. And I was never one of those kids that could do that, so I was always in trouble. Um, and I didn't know the importance of my voice or my worth and my value until I came to this campus. And I was 18 years old. And it literally took people at this college literally investing in me, especially Bernadette Robert, investing in me, their time, their talent, showing up every single day, reminding me of what my worth and value was. And so now that I have my own daughters, and I've been in education for 25 years, my daughters, they are 10 and 13 now. We just celebrated birthdays this summer. They're 10 and 13.